Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me today for a first drive in the Mercedes-Benz Vision AVTR, a merging of human and machine and no ordinary car. This is a collaboration between Mercedes-Benz and Avatar. Let me show you a few details before we're going to be taking it outside to experience a drive. I was going to say getting behind the wheel, but that is not the case in this electric concept because on board you have a joypad to control it. The interior is illuminated, as you can see. There are projectors to show you all of the different displays. The wheels can turn to 30 degrees so that it can almost crab along sideways. At the rear, you can see these 33 bionic flaps, which also indicate what's going on, like tiles or scales on a reptile, for example. This is quite an unusual thing. We're going to see some of the technology that's looking towards the future incorporated into this before driving the Vision AVTR. I'm not quite sure how this is going to go, but I'm excited to find out. As you walk up towards the car, it recognizes your arrival and starts to wake up. You have the blue lighting, like the Mercedes-Benz EQ models in the front, is reminiscent of the EQC and more to come in the future. But there are noticeable different things that start to happen. As it comes to life, you'll spot around the back, for example, the scales on the rear deck. Have a watch of this as they wake up completely moving to place, recognizing what's going on around it. You have that full wraparound tail light, and below those, the neurons, which represent the speed at which the car is driving. The wheels are inspired by the Woodsprites from the movie Avatar, and you can see the doors opening up at the moment to reveal this interior. In front of the occupants, you have a seamless projection from 6 different projectors. In the center, you have that joystick control that we're going to be talking more about when experiencing it in a moment. The car is made with recyclable materials, a recyclable battery, for example. The interior finish is vegan, as James Cameron, the director of Avatar, is vegan. You also have the seat surrounds and the rears, which are made from recycled PET bottles that are collected from the sea, and the floor, rather than involving cutting down trees, is made from wicker. As we look around it though, this is a mixture of nature and human, and I think we're going to be taking it out to experience. Have a look at these scales at the rear. At the moment, they're kind of stationary and you can see the neurons moving slowly underneath, but when accelerating, they tilt forward to be aerodynamic, and also you can see the speed with which the neurons speed up underneath. When the car then is braking, you'll see these change. They go red, they act almost like an air brake as they pivot up into the air in front, and the neurons below start to slow down, mixing this animal-like skin over the top with the function of the vehicle as it's happening. And you can see all of those illuminations and colours from the outside, but also continuing through within, the different shapes, the smoothness, the integration, the way it wraps all the way around and continues on into the inside. And even here, have a look at the back, the way these rear seats wrap over to become the headrests for the front, the projectors all from up top, lots of glass, very open, and it can of course be autonomous, but it's going to be driven with this control, which is going to be fascinating when we pull it out in a second. Look at this, 4-wheel steering. We're going to be taking it outside. Wow. Look at that, look at how the wheels move as it crabs forward. Not seen anything like that. The ability to move at that kind of angle, controlled through the pad, out into the sunshine, where of course we can't quite see the lights so bright, but this is something truly special. You don't see that very often. Look at the way it turns and maneuvers with an electrical whir. Outside then, in the sunshine, I've just had a quick introduction tutorial to understand how exactly the AVTR works, but I'm going to take a step inside then before taking this for a little drive. Now, to do this super delicately, I'm going to sit just inside, dip my head underneath and swing up my feet. Of course, a very different driving experience. There are no steering wheels here in front. It is all going to be done through this control pad, which you move around. You've got various different controls and movements, but how surreal is this? Look at all of the glass around. Look at this view towards the rear. I really like these headrests. Those are very, very nice. All the illumination. You have these blue touches all around the different interior trims. So we can close down the door then and go experience a short little drive in the AVTR. The first thing to do then is to close down the door. Press and hold the button just here. That will shut and cocoon me in place in one moment. Obviously, I have to be very careful and very delicate with this car. Then I've got a seatbelt which slides out just here and buckles in over on that side. Click it into place. I've got a button to release the electronic handbrake. There we go, you can hear that opening. And now I put my hand on this pad in the centre, connect and become one with the car, and pivot it forward slightly, and we will start to move. And we start to get on the move. This is surreal. Driving a car, but with no steering wheel, just in a straight line at the moment, being super careful, super cautious with this, a priceless concept. Now just to turn it ever so slightly, you lean it over towards one side. That all makes sense, yes, okay. Baby steps here, just to make sure that I do everything correctly. I want to come to a stop. This is where you lean it ever so slightly backwards. And it brings us right down towards a stop. Nice and easy. Okay then, back forwards, back on the move. Let's get rolling again, and we will go and do a full turn. So, lean it over to the side. You can definitely feel the four-wheel steering, the way the back comes around. But what a strange sensation, looking right down towards the ground beside me. Huge, huge glass panels. Very, very hot today, as you can see. But now let's try crabbing it. So while we're going forwards, let me twist it, and I'm crabbing towards the right. Wow. Okay, back straight. Turn it to straighten us out a little bit. Oh, just bring the speed slightly back down onto check. Turn it to the left, and we crab over to the left. That is a truly bizarre feeling. Kind of sidestepping. It can turn on a tiny amount of space, as you would expect, thanks to the four wheels. This is totally unusual, unreal. I feel like I could just kind of relax in here. Take it easy, nice and chilled. Oh, slow it down a touch. Just gotta be careful with this, obviously. What a strange experience. Totally bizarre. This is up there with one of the most unusual things that I've ever driven. And I've driven some pretty unusual stuff. I just have to be super careful with it. Even though we're in a private location here, I've got the whole area to myself. The way it turns though, how odd is that? Almost on the spot, able to turn around. It has a total range of 700 kilometers, and you can pretty much charge it up in about 15 minutes. Obviously looking towards the technology of autonomous and electric in the future, but here, this is an unusual way to drive a car. Could you imagine a production car that you piloted like this, that you drove using a control pad? Obviously the passenger or the person on the right could drive using their left hand, or the person on the left using their right hand. I'm a little bit lost for words. Obviously I can't comment on driving dynamics or anything like that, but as an experience, what an opportunity from Mercedes-Benz to give this a go. It's just very hot when you turn to face the sun, which I suppose is not the biggest surprise in the world. And then let's go back to where we started, just around here, back into the shade. That's a little bit better today. And kind of reverse the process, pull it back to come to a stop. Brakes therefore activated when it's backwards. If you tilt it forwards at all, it would then go forwards. We've got the electric handbrake in place, and then I can open up the doors with the buttons just here. And those both open up and release. Get some breeze inside, a little bit cooler. It is very, very hot today. But that is a crazy, crazy sensation and experience. I don't really know what to say. A drive in the AVTR. Back outside the car then, if I can call the AVTR a car, and we can look at some more of those details. Currently the scales sitting up on the back. Down here though, look at how open it is. Very much this whole design blending nature into machine along with the human interface and control as well. The wheels are made from polyurethane, just to get that completely right, and they can do a host of different light designs and effects depending exactly what's going on, representing different things. And then around the front you have that consistent headlight bar that runs all the way across above that illuminated Mercedes-Benz three-pointed star at the front. And now with those gigantic doors, the wing doors open up, the rear doors could be opened as well, and then you have a four-seater, quite literally, with the most amazing of designs inside. Here we can see a little bit more of these. The seats actually vibrate with the different zones, and they have all sorts of senses and your interaction and feeling of being inside it as well. I mean, this is a very unusual experience to be on board and drive something like this. A project that obviously doesn't come along all that often. Mercedes-Benz and Avatar theming up, and so many more of these aspects, like I said, with the wheels, also the neurons, come through from Avatar. In fact, the whole ethos of the car comes from that kind of the world, that other world of which the Avatar movie is based. And you see that in all the different elements, all the design, all the features. And look at how they, even here, just twitch and move around a little bit, recognizing, preparing, and just having an almost skin layer over the top. The only thing breaking up the smooth design that you otherwise have over the entirety of the machine. This has been really quite something to experience. Quite an unusual thing to get to drive. Just seeing this on the move, it is one of the most unusual things ever. Even almost the noises and sounds. And look at that back under the lights, well, in the dark with the lights, I should say. This is so totally unusual. Wow. Parked back up then where we began, but what an amazing opportunity to experience the AVTR. That was something quite fantastic. I'm not going to forget in a hurry, and maybe we see some of these things in the future as well. For today though, that is all. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Mercedes-Benz for the opportunity to go out in this, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Cheers.